Well, there it is, guys. The Dynam Focke-Wulf, all put together. I haven't put the decals on it yet or put the control horns on yet, but other than that, she's all put together. I haven't put a pilot in it yet either. The prop nut was pretty messed up. I couldn't get the bolt on very easy. I had to actually hold the shaft with vice grips and then turn the nut on with a wrench, and then put it on and then take it off, and then put it on and then take it off. And then I put some PB Blast on there, which is basically a when you semi-strip a bolt, not strip it so that it's cross-threading, but not strip the bolt, but strip the threads a little bit. What you're doing is you're just tearing a layer off the threads, and that's basically what I had to do, because that bolt did take a lot of damage poking out of the end of that box like that. It mash, 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 bang, 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 and it flattened the groove, the first thread to thread on the nut. It bent that one in, so I had to file it. Then I had to take my knife in there and I had to bend it back out. And then finally I got the nut on, but then it started stripping off the tippy top layer of the bolt, just on the tops, very tips of the threads. It took off a little bit of metal on there, so I put some JB, or some PB Blast on there, and that caused it so that, excuse me, so that it didn't strip any, or start cross-threading. Let's see. The Tempest, all so far in my book, is the best Dynam plane. This Focke-Wulf was nothing but a pain in the ass to put together, and the way it came, I had to bend that tail back out. It's still sitting a little crooked. I still have to bend it a little bit more. I still think the Tempest by far, so far, was the easiest, most pain-free one of putting together so far. I've yet to see how either one of them fly, so I'm not going to be able to go into details on which one's the better plane overall. All I can tell you is that the Tempest was a way easier build, way less complicated build. This one's not very complicated either, it's just harder than the Tempest was. I'm not going to make this video too incredibly long. I'm actually going to probably cut it down right now. I just wanted to let you guys know that this one is kind of a pain in the butt. On the Tempest, when the prop gets put on, there's actually on the back piece of the prop, before you put the prop on itself, there's a little piece there, and it's got these 4 like pegs sticking out of the back of it. Now those 4 pegs go into the 4 holes that are on the engine. This one does not have those 4 pegs, so it's basically just sitting up against the engine. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us in the ass later. Hopefully we don't get any prop spin, what I mean by that is the prop spinning around the shaft, because that can happen here. It did go on fairly tight, so I doubt we'll get too much prop spin, but I'm not saying that eventually one day down the road that this thing will prop spin. Okay, I had to take out the mounting board for the I actually had to rip the fuselage in half and take out the mounting board for the engine, because the bracket, where the engine plate, has these little bumps that stick up, and that's where the screws go in. You put the engine on there, you put the screws in. Well, those were all uneven, so I had to pull it out and I had to file those down so that they were even, because when I started putting the prop on for the first time, it was at an angle. The prop was literally like facing that way, like at an angle. And I was like, Jesus, it's bent. And, you know, upon further review, I looked at it and noticed that it was just these little raised areas that are on that plate, the engine plate, the engine mount. And one of them was this high. The top 2 were this high. The 2 left ones were this high, and the 2 right ones were like this high. So obviously, if you mount the engine to that, it's going to slightly have the engine to one side, because one side's higher than the other. So I took it and I filed them down so that they're all the same height, and then I put it back together, and as you can see, it's not crooked now. It's sitting on there nice and straight. That engine cowling that's on the front of there, it's held on by magnets, but it's really loose. I can see, you know, maybe some air getting in there and then forcing that thing forward, and then it hits the prop. So I'm going to throw some glue, a couple of little beads of glue, just enough to secure that thing on there better. I'm actually going to paint that cowling black too. I'm going to take the prop back off here in a little bit, and I'm going to paint that cowling black. I just think it would look a lot cooler black. I was going to paint it yellow to match the tail, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to paint the cowling black, and then I'm going to actually paint the tail of the plane black as well. It's yellow right now, which is a typical yellow fighter color scheme, the yellow tail with the yellow bellies, the German fighter scheme, which was yellow bellies, yellow tails. But this Focke-Wulf is not owned by a German, it's owned by an American, me, Dave. So we're going to go ahead and paint it black and put a black cowling on it, and then maybe the wingtips black. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I haven't really decided yet. The paint scheme on this thing is actually pretty good, and the paint condition is actually pretty damn good too. So really quick video, 5-minute, 6-minute video here, just to show you guys the plane put together. Hold on, let me put it at another angle, and there it is from a side view. Really pretty plane. It really is pretty. I mean, it's a really nice plane. It's got a little bit of weight to it too. So and the foam is that's the one thing that I like about Dynam planes, man, is the foam is just it's really solid foam. It's really solid foam. It's really nice, tough, hard foam. I mean, you can really like knock on it, and it doesn't even dent. So, but she is a really pretty bird. Can't wait to get the decals on it, get it painted up, and get the finished project out here for you. But as of right now, I am finished. I'm going to go bowl, and I'm going to blow off some steam, throw in a bunch of freaking strikes, because that's what I do. I'm going to forget all about what I have to do to finish up this plane, because it has frustrated the shit out of me from the time I pulled it out of the box, before I pulled it out of the box till now. It's just been nothing but a nightmare to put together. And I also have to go buy some different hinges too, because these are just push in and glue in hinges, or not hinges, but the control horns, the clips that go on the ailerons and the tail, and they're push in glue ins, and I want screw in ones. So I'm gonna go and dig out of my box and find some screw in ones from like my old pack or whatever, and I'm gonna screw those in there, and I'm gonna use those, because I am not gonna trust just glue on hinges with a heavy plane like this. Or not hinges, why do I keep saying hinges? I'm just tired and frustrated. I've been frustrated ever since I started opening this plane. It's been one little bullshit thing after another, and I'm just done with it for now. So, but I got it this far. Now all I have to do is put the control surface, whatever you want to call them, the clips there for the rudder and the elevator, and then a little bit of paint here and there, and put the decals on it, and she's ready to rock and roll. I'm just hoping once I get into everything that both retracts work and everything, because I've already got to put it together. There's a certain way you got to put this thing together. You actually pull the wires up through. So basically, if something's not working right, then I have to take the wings off, pull it back through, replace whatever's wrong with it, whether it be a retract or whatnot, then put it back together, pull the wires through this little hole, and then all over again. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. It's not like the Tempest where you take the wings off and everything just falls right out. This has got a specific spot where everything goes up through and in and feed the wires through. But it's a nice, big, heavy, durable looking plane. I can imagine it's got a 400 kV motor on there. I believe that said 400 kV. So that's a bad mother trucker right there, man. That should put out quite a bit of power. But anyways, I said I was going to cut it at 6 minutes. Here we are at 8:40. I'm going to cut this video now, guys. I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for details, more details on the giveaway. I shit you not, I will be giving away a 64mm plane, 64mm EDF free wing jet of your choosing. You're just going to have to wait for the video to come up. We can get, I said 500. I'm telling you right now, if I get over 100 likes, I'm going to do the drawing. So let's push for that 100 likes. Let's get a free 64mm plane out to somebody. And that's no bullshit, man. I don't bullshit, man. Somebody's going to win that plane. Somebody's going to win a new plane, and it could be you. So stay tuned for that, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.